Let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be talking about today. 10 marketing myths that are holding your business back. In fact, I'm going to go a little bit further and say this is really 10 marketing myths from a faith perspective that are holding your business back. So a lot of them are going to be things that you don't typically hear. These are going to be things that you may have thought or may have heard other people say, but no one's really talking about these myths. That's why I'm so excited. Let's have these conversations. Let's make this a safe space for having business and faith-filled conversations.
Welcome to the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy Podcast. If you're frustrated by marketing and want to stand out from your competition, this is the show for you. Every week, we're discussing how to build a plan that attracts your best customers and aligns with your values. I'm your host, Ashley Conway, follower of Jesus, CEO of Be Weird Marketing, marketing coach, and copywriter. I promise to defeat the ick, yuck, and struggle bus feelings you may have about marketing with a few good stories and proven advice. So let's have fun and get to work.
Okay, so let's start. Marketing, I know, can feel overwhelming, even for me, and I know what I'm doing, but it's a lot. And it's even more overwhelming when the advice out there doesn't align with your values or your goals or your mission. And that makes it even it'll just like tear you apart because this may be great advice, but this is not the exact direction that I know I'm supposed to go. That's what I'm here for, to marry the experience, the best practices advice with, how you're feeling called to run your business. So let me start with a myth that fired me up. Oh my gosh. Here we go. So here is a photo that I saw posted on Instagram a few weeks ago that really got under my skin. Now, this is Sara Blakely. She is the creator of Spanx, very successful, very admirable, really, female entrepreneur. What I didn't like, she has this series coming out where she holds up different coffee cups and she takes a picture with them, blah, blah, blah. This one was the one that really lit a fire under me. Underperformers want ease. Mid-performers want credit. Winners want pressure. And her argument was that all the important things in our lives, like being a parent, being a spouse, or being a business owner, all these things come with pressure, and we should learn to embrace that in order to really be successful. I understand what she was saying. And, Ashley of 10 years ago would have probably embraced that because my natural tendency is to hustle and strive. But this Ashley that's been through life and has learned a lot of lessons that God needed to teach me, that just turns my stomach because I think winners don't want pressure. I think winners want peace. I think winners want impact. I think winners want to be obedient. I think winners want meaningful relationships. I don't think they want pressure. I don't think success has to involve pressure. In fact, I think that if your success comes with a lot of pressure, you're probably carrying too much that you shouldn't be. There's probably a lot that you should be leaving to God that you're not. And that's why this whole thing, though it's such a popular viewpoint of business, but to me, I'm like, no, it triggered me in the way to say no. And I even posted about it on Instagram because I think we need voices saying, no, this is the hustler's way of doing business. This is society's way of being a successful CEO. That does not have to be the way. Okay. So we can tell I'm getting really fired up about that. So I better remove that. Let's go back to our presentation and keep going. So that's an example of something really popular, a common perception in business that may not align with either our values, our goals, or, what God has just told us to do with our businesses. And there are so many more. So let's jump into this first one. You have to be everywhere to be successful. Does anybody else hear that statement and just automatically feel a little tired? I do. And trying to show up everywhere is just going to leave you burned out. Even if you have a team, that you're delegating this to, that somebody's in charge of social and they're posting all the time on Meta and on LinkedIn or wherever your customers are. Even if your team is there, just knowing that as the CEO, you are casting a vision for all of these different places, that you are supposed to connect with people on all of these very different platforms is exhausting, right? So I don't think that you are able to connect or serve well on any individual platform if you're trying to serve them all. These are, we know we're typically talking about social here. These are different platforms. They're really good for different things. And the people on those platforms are wanting to see different things. And definitely when you're starting out, unless you have a massive company, which I doubt many of you on here do, then I don't think you should start by worrying about let's be visible 5 different platforms. This is a common lie that we are being told personally, professionally. You have to be great at everything. You have to be a great business owner. You should be a great member of your church. You should be a great spouse. You should be a great parent. You should be a great, let's say you should be great at home. You should have a beautiful home. You should have this extremely healthy food that feeds your family well. It should have a great presentation. You should be hosting people. It's too much, right? And the same is in our business. You should be excellent marketers. You should be excellent at customer service. You should have these buttoned up financials. You should be able to do it all. You should be an incredible manager and be mentoring and fostering your team members. It's just not possible, at least not at the same time. So that's where I'm coming from with marketing. Just say no. Instead, we're going to be laser focused. Where is your ideal customer spending the most of their time? And looking for businesses like yours. Don't go to the one where they just want entertainment and they're just going to scroll past any ads or posts about what you do. Look for the one that is, I would kind of like to know, have my friends had this experience? Where are they going? Yeah, that's a great thought. Thank you, Jesus. Where are they going to post? Hey, friends, do you know anybody that I could get to do this particular thing? That's where you want to be. That's where they're looking for information, not entertainment. So think about things like that. You identified that one platform to be on, and you own that. You show up. You provide value. You connect with people in the DMs. You serve. You're on there doing, you could do like a live call with somebody and just talk about questions they should be asking when they're looking for someone. You could do like a mini version of It Is What You Offer. If you're an online business owner, do a mini version on your social platform of choice just to show people how you work. So your action here, and these are all formatted. I should have said this at the beginning, the result. Like, what does your life look like, your business look like if you believe this myth? Then what is the truth to combat that? And then what action should you take first to pull out of that lie? So the action is just to identify that one platform and create a 30-day laser focused strategy. This can just be a test, right? And I think we need to have the freedom to do that any of these things, you don't have to make a decision that goes for now and the rest of the quarter, now the rest of the year. Just make a decision. This is what we want to focus on the most for the next 30 days. And we're just going to kind of back burner or keep the things just barely simmering for everything else we're doing. And we're going to focus on this and see what the results are. Okay, number 2, more followers equals more success. The result, you will be disappointed that your many followers that you get aren't converting to leads. The truth is here, you're playing the wrong game. More followers, trying to get more followers is a popularity contest. I mean, who wants to really go back to middle school and high school and relive that, right? There's this widely held myth that social media is going to bring you in a lot of sales. Prepare your hearts. The absolute truth from someone who has done all of these, written social post copy, helped create all of these, visual ads. I've done it. The truth is maybe it will, but most likely it's going to be in the long term. Social media is for consumption. We want to go through there, listen to people, look at what people are doing. Most of the time, unless it's an ad for a cheaper product or service that looks cool, and most of the times it's product, we may click on those to buy something. But for services that cost a little bit more than, what's the fake eyelashes you can put on differently? I'm trying to think of what you see a lot on Instagram. Unless it's for something like that that's pretty cheap, people are not on there just ready to purchase. I'm just looking to buy something fun for myself. No, they just want to consume. So it's going to take a while of that consumption and them getting to know you before they're ready to actually take a step. Followers, likes, comments aren't leads. Here's an example. This very week, my podcast episode, I put an audiogram, a little audio clip on Instagram, just with a tidbit of what I was talking about this week. And it had 3,800 views, which is pretty decent for me. And I had no more podcast downloads, and I had no more DMs, and I had no more any engagement of whatsoever, despite that 3,800 views, because people want to consume and then keep scrolling for more consumption. That's how the platforms are built. They're made to keep us consuming and keep us scrolling, not stop the scroll, do something. They want us to stay on the app and keep going. So not followers, not likes, not comments. They're just not as important. You need to move people into your sales funnel. That can be many different ways. That can be like a freebie that they sign up for. It can be a very low ticket item. There are multiple ways to do it. You can get them to DM you about something, but this is the metric that counts. You need people to start a relationship with you, a conversation, some kind of interaction, not just followers, likes, and comments. I know that's really hard to hear. So the action is to begin tracking these success metrics: DM conversations, freebie signups, low tickets purchased, and pay less attention to these vanity things. All right, number 3, talking about your faith will scare people away. Hello, isn't that not the first thing on your mind when you think about faith in business and integrating those things together? So the result is, if you think this, you're going to communicate just like every other business out in the marketplace that's secular. And you're never going to connect with people who they don't even necessarily have to share your values, but they appreciate them. So there's a lot. This is nuanced. The truth is that obedience, whatever God is telling you to do with your business, with your message, that is more important than being well liked by a whole lot of people. People are drawn to authenticity. They connect with stories. So they're going to connect with the real you, the real story, brand story behind your business. But remember too, faith does not have to be preachy. You think about all of these businesses that, and this is how, there's the big ones, the Chick-fil-A, the In-N-Out, the Hobby Lobby, they're faith-based companies. I mean, they're not preaching. Nobody is there in the drive-thru being like, with your chicken sandwich, can I also tell you a short version of the gospel? They're not doing that. They're not preaching. I see tons of companies who will just put a little line of scripture at the bottom of their website. So they're not preaching. They're not actually preaching the gospel. What they're doing is showing up like Jesus in the way they do business. That's what we're talking about here. So it's not necessarily talking about your faith. Sometimes it's displaying your faith to your customer base, showing it, living it out, showing them what a Christian-led company, how it looks different from a secular company, just the experience of doing business. Okay, so I'd love to talk about this more. Please feel free to message me and we can chat. The action here is to just choose one way. You're going to start incorporating one of your core values into your marketing. That's it. Start with your values, the things that God has told you you're on mission for this. These are the most important things for you to do. Let's look for one way to get that into your marketing, whether it's your messaging or your customer experience or something else. All right. 3, I'm going to try to keep it moving. I know we have 10 here. Number 4, if you build it, they will come. Who knows what that's from if you don't know? Oh my gosh, your life is incomplete. It's from Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. You know, he builds the ball field like in his backyard. So if you think this, if I just build it, people will show up. You will be disappointed that your refreshed website, your social media, your email campaigns, whatever it is, just this is what you hear. Crickets. That's the worst cricket I've ever heard. Sorry. The truth is, you know the old saying, right? This is what I thought of. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? This is the same way. You can be stellar at your service, your team, your website, your mission, everything. But if no one, your operations, how you execute everything. But if no one knows about you, your business will never grow. You will stay the same, and you could do a good business working off of referrals and word of mouth. But if you really want to grow, scale your business, you have to be visible. People have to know about you. It's just not being an incredible company. You have to let people know you exist. Action here is to do your research. It's one of my favorite things. You know, you combine good data with good strategy and you can have great results. So do your research. Where is your ideal customer? Where are they? And how do you best connect with them? How do you get in front of them? Get their eyeballs on you. Get noticed. All right, number 5, you have to follow every trend to stay relevant. Here's another exhausting one. And this is what the result would be. Your head and your team will be spinning, trying to react to the trends, to know what the trends are, to come up with your own take on the trends, to put out your own content on the trends or your own, whatever it is, a process or whatever it may be, messaging. This is a never-ending cycle that leaves you always feeling behind and hurried. Here's the truth. Trends are very, very often distractions, and they can derail your progress like that. So here's the one caveat. Unless your ideal customer is someone who is, it's kind of an early adopter about all trends, all technology, all new things. If they're Gen Z or younger and they just like being on top of whatever the newest, hottest thing is. If that is your customer, then you need to know about the trends and you need to be able to respond. You also need to have a very flexible and nimble business, a marketing system that allows you to do that quickly. And that's the thing. And we can chat about that. But otherwise, stick to your system. Stick to your strategy that's customized to your business. Strategies, good strategies, the only ones that will work. A cookie cutter thing, it's not going to work for you. You need something based on your customers, your services, your market, and your values. What are trends based on? I don't even know. They come, they go. So ask yourself, is your strategy, your marketing strategy that is the boss of all the marketing that you do, that directs everything, that keeps everything glued together and integrated, is that robust enough that it will keep you, I'm thinking I'm from Kentucky. We have the Derby, the blinders on our horses. Is your strategy good enough that it will be the blinders for you? That no matter what the horses are doing on either side, you're focused on where you're going. You're so confident in that strategy that you will keep going that way, despite the trends and despite the noise. If not, we really need to talk. If not, because I don't want you getting derailed from your goals and your progress because you're getting distracted by these other things. Okay, here we go. 6, success means scaling fast. This is so tempting. But the result is this. If you scale too quickly, you grow too quickly, you're going to hurt your existing customers, your loyal customer base. You're going to repel new customers because they're going to see that some things are breaking. And you're going to hurt your reputation as the excellent type of business you want to be. Do all things like you're doing them for God, right? That type of business, you don't want to hurt that business's reputation. That is, Your brand reputation is one of the very most important things you own as a Christian business owner. Protect that. Okay, so here's the truth. We're not going to despise small beginnings, right? And I'm not saying that your beginnings are small. I mean, if you're watching this, you are very successful. So you may be medium beginnings or even beyond that. But I'm saying we're not going to despise where we're at in favor of growing too quickly. We are going to count the cost before we build something new. We are going to thoughtfully grow and make sure that we have things in place, that our systems are in place, that our messaging is ready, that everything that needs to scale in order to serve more people is ready before we take the leap. And this is just my philosophy, if we can't serve customers with the same excellence and care that we do now, then it's not that we shouldn't scale. It's that we're scaling in the wrong way. And if this is something you're considering, action here is to get the counsel of a few wise business owners who have been in this position on how to scale well. If you do not have that person who has significantly scaled their business in a really purpose-filled, thoughtful way to make it both less stressful on you and more successful for both you, your team, and your customer base, let me know. I have a friend who is a coach in this area who is spectacular. She's so wise, and I'd be happy to connect you. 7, marketing feels prideful or self-promotional. I get that. I have been there in the past, but the result is you won't attract good leads because your audience will sense that your heart just isn't in it, or that you're half doing it. You're doing like the bare minimum because you really don't feel good about marketing. So they'll know that your heart is in it, or you just don't feel like marketing is moral, ethical. So, and this is aside from correct. If God is saying, don't market your business, which I have never heard, and I would be interested to know what that exact wording from him was. Unless he's saying that, that's not the way to think about it. Here's the truth. Sharing your message, and this is what I mean by your message, how you help people. What is the problem that you're solving? Who are you solving it for? And what's their life going to look like after working with you? That's the message. You see how it's really focused on other people. It's not focused on your company. So sharing that type of message, that's not boasting. That's not being prideful. That's serving. That's helping. You're making it easier for people who need what you offer to find you. In fact, and just like what I said, your marketing should mainly focus on your customer. It's just like it's a tweak of the way you phrase things and the way you think about it to be less about your company and tailored more toward them. So here's the action. Until you take this thought captive, marketing just won't work for you. There's nothing I can do or anyone else can do or anybody on your team can do to make it work better. You have to work through this. So, and I just thought about this, in today's terms, Jesus went from town to town with his team of 12, plus some women, let's not forget. So his smaller team, and they went from town to town, and he told people the kingdom of God is here. God is here now. And he just kept doing that over and over. That was going and it's just spreading a message. That's all marketing is. It's just connecting with people. And that's what he did, is he went from place to place. So here's the action. Spend some time in prayer, asking for wisdom about this issue. And, asking, is my thinking here in alignment with you? Do I need to change anything? Give me wisdom, direct me. All right. 8, if I'm faithful, the right customers will find me, which I know sounds a lot like if I build it, they will come, but it's a different angle. So this is someone who says, if I'm faithful, if I'm doing what God asked me to do, then the people will pour in. But here's the result. If this is your belief system, your business and your faith miracles happen. They may suffer because you're going to start becoming discouraged about both. Both, my business is not doing well. Why am I not getting customers, leads? And my faith's not doing well because I thought God would show up and just overflow my cup, basically. I thought he would show up in abundance. But here's the truth. God gives us, it's a gift, it's a privilege of partnering with him to accomplish great things. And partner means just like you and your partner, if you're married, it takes two, right? This implies that he has a part that we can't do, and we have a part that he won't do. That's hard for me to hear sometimes too. There is a part that only he can do, and there is a part that he wants us to do that he won't do. So you think about, just as I was putting this together, there was a great story in the New Testament where Jesus is telling Peter, put your boat out. Peter's been fishing. He's like, look, nothing's biting today. It's just not the day. I'll come back tomorrow. No big deal. And Jesus says, push your boat out, drop your nets. And so that took some work on Peter's part. Let's not forget, he did have to prep the boat, prep the nets, probably had to get, if somebody wasn't in the boat with him, maybe he needed some help kind of thing. Maybe it was Andrew, who knows? So they push out, they flip their nets over the side, then it's overfilled with fish. Then the miracle occurs. It didn't occur because Peter stood in front of his boat and said, okay, my boat is anchored, but you can flop the fish out of the water and into the boat, right? That's not the way it works. It took Peter, because also there takes some faith to do the work. There takes some faith to say, I'm not just going to sit here and wait and see what happens. I'm going to take the first step expecting that what you told me, you will do. So what's the action? Put your boat in the water. Take a step. Okay, we're almost there. Number 9, selling high ticket offers isn't Christian. Doesn't feel very Christian. So what's it look like if you believe this? You won't sell high ticket offers. You're not going to sell anything that's a $5,000 offer or whatever it may be. So you're going to need to sell a whole lot of low ticket offers to be profitable, to pay your team, to invest in things, to save for a rainy day, that type of stuff. That also means your impact is probably going to be smaller. It's going to be really hard to be very successful selling a significant volume of low ticket things. So your impact, the things that just think, if you sell a whole lot of low ticket things, you have some revenue there. If you sell a lot of high ticket things, then you have wild revenue, not to buy yourself a big fancy office building necessarily, but what if you can step in for one of your team members when they're going through something horrible and you can bless their life in mind-blowing ways? What if you can support a cause that means a lot to you, your community? What if you can bring on additional team members that you can bless by giving them a fantastic job, a cause to buy into, a mission to join? Money, and this goes right into the truth, this is a beliefs issue about money. This is that more money, either asking for it, receiving it, whatever it is, doesn't feel righteous to you. So I can't, and I'm not even qualified, let's be honest, I cannot dig into money issues with you. I can't solve your money issues or help talk you through them. This is what I know, because I'm a marketing expert, remember? This is what I know. Purchases are about value. If you purchase, I just got a text from the friend who does my house cleaning once a month. And I give her a certain amount of money because I feel that it's so valuable to me in saving my time and my energy. And it's valuable to her because this is an easy way for her to bring in income on days that she can do it for her family and still show up for them on many other days in a lot of different ways. But I don't feel like she is asking too much, that she is stealing my money, it's not even like I'm giving her my hard-earned money. No, it's nothing like that. I'm like, you are blessing me by doing this. And it's such a blessing. I want to give you, this is a value to me. I give you this money in exchange. So it's about value. I mean, if it's about, think about the little things you buy, like you buy shampoo at the store. Do you want the cheapest thing on the market? Sometimes. Do you want something a little bit nicer for you're thinking, oh, I have a problem. What if you have dandruff? Are you willing to spend more to get rid of your dandruff? Of course you are. It's all about the value. It's not about the cost. It's about what you're getting from it. So if your service is highly valuable, if it is transformational for a potential customer, then charging a higher price is appropriate. It honors the person you're working with and you. So, I mean, this is a bigger issue, right? So here's the action. Just discuss this. The first step is just to discuss the money issue with your small group, with a Christian friend, with your pastor, whoever you feel comfortable talking about it with. Just approach them and say, can you just help me talk this through? Because I'm not sure, and pray, I'm not sure that my thinking is right on this. A lot of money stuff comes from childhood. It comes from like previous experience in your life. There's a lot of stuff there to dig through. All right, last one. Here we go. Marketing is just about selling. So the result, if you believe this, you are actually taking away marketing's ability to be more, to have more meaning, to have a greater purpose. One of the taglines I like to use with my business, Be Weird Marketing, is that it's marketing with a higher purpose. Anything we do can just be, washing the dishes, doing the laundry. That can just be a shallow activity, or it can have greater meaning. And that's what we're doing here. The truth is marketing is about building relationships. It's as easy as that. Yeah. Great relationships are going to lead to dollars. They're going to lead to sales. If you really connect with someone, it's very likely that they will work with you at some point. But so that's about dollars, right? The sales that you get, but the everyday things that you do, that's about relationships. And you know what relationships are about? They're purposeful. They're life-changing. You can't tell me that when you build a relationship with people, and even if it doesn't have to be face-to-face, even if it's in your DMs, whatever it is, when you start building that relationship and they're coming to you with questions or just seeing you as an expert, as somebody who can help in this area, that's when you really have a chance to impact people. So here's the action on this final one. Make sure relationship building is a part of your marketing metrics evaluation. So it's real easy to look at the things like number of leads that a particular thing brought in, conversions to sales, things like that. But the relationship building, like the conversations, is really what it comes down to. How many conversations did this particular marketing piece start? All right. I have 3 spots open for 60-minute power hour coaching sessions. So this is going to be some kind of business breakthrough. We're on there with a purpose. We're not just on there to chat. We're on there to solve a specific problem. Business breakthroughs in an hour. If you will go to the page on my site, it will give you several examples of what we could accomplish in 1 hour. So that link to get there is bit.ly/power hour coaching. You go there, you'll get lots of examples of something that we could tackle and brainstorm and solve together. And it's like a mini version of kind of what I would do with the full coaching program. There's a research component. There's a let's identify the problem component, talk about your ideal customer component, and then let's brainstorm solutions and figure out where to go after that hour's over. So I have 3 of those spots open. Go there to find out more and to schedule one, and let's get started. And that is all for today's show. I can't wait till next week. I look forward to the next topic, and I hope to see more of you there.
Thanks for listening to today's show. For all things podcast, including transcripts, extra resources, and a place to submit questions for the show, visit higherpurposemarketingstrategy.com. I'd also love for you to do me 2 quick favors. 1, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and 2, share this episode with your colleagues. And that's a wrap. Meet you back here next week.